Good morning and welcome to Living Local 15. Thank you so much for joining me today. First up, I am taking you inside of Allendale Behavioral Health and learning about their mental health facility and how they are helping support adults who are struggling with mental health disorders by offering group therapy, individual therapy, and other treatment options. Then it's Wealth Wednesday with Foster Financial, and today we're continuing discussing the big beautiful bill, but this time your car loan interest and how that could be deducted. Then it's epic discounts at epic prices. Are you ready? Let's get started.
Fashion, food, and fun. You're watching Living Local 15 with your host, Jessica Williams.
This segment sponsored by Allendale Behavioral Health. I am outside of Allendale Behavioral Health, which is an outpatient facility treating those who are suffering from mental health. Whether it's clinical depression, anxiety, or even PTSD, they have something for everyone. So today I'm going to speak with their CEO and Director of Community Outreach to learn more about their services and if it's a good fit for those who need it. Let's do it. I'm now joined by Nate Mollering, who is the CEO, and Tommy Streeter, who is the Director of Community Outreach. Hello.
Hello.
How you guys doing?
Good, how are you?
Good. Okay, so I'm excited about this conversation because mental health is so important. It's something that we're learning more about and we're becoming more comfortable with.
Yep.
And that's essentially what your facility is about, really helping people feel comfortable, learn more about it, and know that it's not the stigma that we once thought it was, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, so give us just an overview about your Allendale Behavioral Health.
Sure. Well, we started Allendale Behavioral Health because as we were seeing at Fort Wayne Recovery and Allendale Treatment, which do substance use, that people, even when they get the substance use ordered under control, they were having struggles with things like depression and anxiety or bipolar schizophrenia, which was leading them back to drugs and alcohol. So we needed to take care of the underlying root cause of the substance use disorder, which oftentimes is the mental health. And we also had a large population of people who were presenting to us as individuals who have no substance use history, but struggle with things like anxiety and depression, and even some of the more severe things like bipolar and schizophrenia. And there was really nowhere for them to go other than an inpatient unit known as a locked unit, which would be acute. And so we needed to create some kind of subacute residential facility where they could go for 30 days or more to get their medications under control and to also find new coping mechanisms, kind of change their mental health, change their daily habits, or rewire the brain.
Okay, so that's interesting. So this is solely focused on mental health, but you said your other business is focused on the substance part. So we're taking the substance part out, focusing on the mental health. Where does that start?
So before they even arrive to the facility, we do an assessment with them over the phone. We do a pretty good background, we want to get a good background on their mental health history, their physical health history, if they have had any substance abuse in the past. And after we get all that information, our medical team, our clinical team, they look over that assessment and they're the ones who make the recommendation on what they think the best level of care would be.
Oh, wow. And then so what are your services specifically that you offer here?
Well, it depends on the person. We like to make it as individualized as possible. That's why we have 17 beds, so we can kind of customize things as people need. Everybody's recovery journey, whether you're talking about substance use or mental health, is vastly different. So we bring them in and they get what's called a biopsychosocial assessment, which is a bigger version of what we do in the pre-screen. It kind of takes a snapshot and goes into detail on their mental health, their previous treatment history, their family history, and from there we build a customizable treatment plan. So for some individuals, it means attending certain kinds of groups, doing other daily activities, journaling, setting up habits that can kind of sustain them when they get out. One of the things we also offer now, which is kind of, there's been a lot of research coming out that it's very helpful to people specifically with treatment-resistant depression and PTSD, is ketamine treatment. So we do that inpatient, whereas most programs do that outpatient. So you can have that introductory dose, see how it goes while you're under medical supervision.
Right.
And then what it does is it increases the neuroplasticity in the brain. So it creates the ability to create new neural pathways easier than it would if you just were doing it on your own.
Yeah.
So what happens is then we kind of come up with a plan on, and just an example would be like waking up at 5 a.m. and taking a cold shower, journaling, exercising a little bit, things to kind of get that dopamine and the endorphins going in the brain and start to do some new things. So it could look like a wide range of things. We have art therapy, we have physical therapy. Obviously, as I said, we have group therapy. A lot of individual counseling sessions go on as well, where people can get in there with their therapist and really dig into the core issues that brought them in the door, whether that's PTSD or any other kind of thing that's affecting them.
Okay, so what would you say that really set you all apart from other facilities that may offer something similar?
Well, like Nate said, most facilities that focus solely on mental health, it's going to be a very short 3 to 5, maybe 7-day acute stay. And then after that, until we opened up, they would go straight from that to an outpatient program where they'd see somebody 1, maybe 3 times a week. So Allendale Behavioral Health was created to be like a bridge between that acute stay, where the subacute, 30-day stay, 5 to 7 days is not enough days, enough time to start a new medication and make sure that that medication is working for you. So this is a place where you can do that, and then once you complete that longer 30 or so day stay, then you would be able to follow up with an outpatient program. So the main thing, one of the main things that sets us apart is we're that 30-day stay. We're also able to treat pregnant women at our inpatient facilities. We're able to do IVs at our inpatient facilities if somebody needs that. And that's something that there's not anywhere else in northeastern Indiana that they're not able to offer those services.
Yeah. And so when someone comes and it's for that 30 days, is that the standard? Like, can people come and get services for a couple of days and go, or is that just the all-around treatment time?
It's 30 days pretty much across the board, and a lot of that is rooted in brain science. On the substance use side of things, it takes about a minimum of 30 days to reset someone's dopamine receptors and get them to a point where they're not in constant fight or flight.
Yeah.
The craving phenomena that happens, right, which is a cycle which occurs, which actually makes people feel like they're going to be physically ill if they don't receive the substance that they're craving. Same thing is true somewhat for mental health, where it takes time to undo bad habits, start to implement new habits that are healthy, as well as coupling with the medication and the therapy and all those things. So it creates a good time to build a new baseline for somebody. Also, the thing that we do is we offer aftercare solutions. So we really try to drill down with the person. When you leave here, what kind of support do you have? Where are you going? Where are you going to live? What kind of counseling are you going to receive? How are you going to get continuing care? So 30 days sounds like a long time, but it goes by very fast when you're trying to get all those things in place and make sure that person is wrapped in what we call wraparound services, like case management, like extra counseling, maybe group therapy when they leave. So they are there for 30 days, pretty regularly.
So, and I know that this is a very intimate experience for them. You offer 17 beds. Who really is this program for? Is it someone who's thinking like, oh, I want to explore my mental health challenges that I may feel like I have? Or is it someone that's more severely going through a mental health battle that they're like, I need support?
Honestly, it could be either. And a big part of that is that assessment that we do over the phone. Based on what they report, what they're experiencing, what issues they're having, like that's ultimately going to make that determination. But it really is for anybody. It can be for somebody that is having that, depression and anxiety so bad that they can't hold down a job, they can't perform their activities in daily living, things like that. They're not getting out of bed because they're so depressed. Or it can be for somebody who has tried outpatients before that haven't worked out. They've tried different medications and haven't found one that's working really well for them, but maybe they are still holding down a job, they have their families and things like that, but they just want to work on themselves and work on feeling a little bit better. So it could be for anybody that's struggling at any level.
And is it, how does it look on a daily basis when it comes to those 30 days? Are they only at this facility? Are they still able to leave, go to work, and do other things in life?
They're primarily in the facility during that 30 days. We do have the ability to transport people to outside doctor's appointment, physical therapy appointments, those types of things they may need. But most of the time, they're in the facility. They wake up about 7 a.m., have breakfast, which is provided for them, and then they go through group therapy from about 8:30, 9 o'clock to 2:39 or 2:33 p.m. in the afternoon. But we also bring in things for them to do once they're done with group therapy for the day. Like they do some physical workouts, yoga, art therapy. We even have some things where we bring in plants where they can do some potting. It's fun stuff like that, so that they can learn that life, even when you're struggling, you can still have fun and enjoy yourself. But a day is a lot of group therapy, a lot of individual therapy, and planning for when we get out.
Yeah, exactly. And final question, what do you feel is a big misconception that someone may have when they think about your type of facility?
I think a lot of people would see it as a very sterile environment, one that maybe would be highly restrictive. We don't look at it that way, and you guys got a chance to tour the facility and see it a little bit. We want it to feel very homey, kind of just like you're staying at a hotel.
Right.
Not like you're staying in a hospital or a psych ward. So I think that's one of the biggest misconceptions. People look at it as very scary, especially people who have struggled with mental health in the past, who have been in psych units, maybe on a 24, 48, or 72-hour hold. That can be very scary. So we want people to know it's a very relaxed environment. It's very serious that we really want to make sure we do a good job for people, but it's not something that's terribly restrictive. And I think that's a common misconception. And the other common misconception is that, the people that are in this facility are just completely unable to function in life, or that they may be dangerous, and that's simply not true. A lot of people, they have just gone through some difficult things in life. We've had individuals come through who just suffered significant loss, and that was kind of the impetus for this slide towards whatever mental health crisis they may be in, and they just need some love and support in the meantime to get back on track.
Yeah, well, thank you both so much.
Yeah.
It's been such a pleasure learning
Likewise.
more.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you would like more information about Allendale Behavioral Health, we'll have their website listed below so you can learn more and give them a call. And I'll see you after the break. This segment sponsored by Allendale Behavioral Health.
Have an idea for the show? Want to find out how you can be a guest? Contact us at livinglocal15@wayne.com.
This segment sponsored by Foster Financial. Welcome back to Wealth Wednesday with Foster Financial. This has been such an interesting conversation over the past few weeks as we break down the big, beautiful bill. And of course, we have our expert here, Caleb Doan, the Vice President of Foster Financial. Hello, Caleb.
Hi.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you as well.
Okay, so last time we talked about the whole no tax on tips and overtime, which was a very interesting conversation. Now we're going to talk about no tax on car interest loans.
Yeah.
Or car loan interest?
Yeah, car loan interest. Yeah. Yep.
Okay, what is that? Because I have not heard of this one.
Yeah, I know this is one that maybe doesn't grab the headlines like the big senior kind of bonus deductions and the no tax on tips and things like that. But it's something that was added to the bill. So this is for folks to be able to deduct off of their taxes, their ordinary income taxes, any car loan interest that they paid. Obviously, there's been a lot of stuff in the news right now about how high interest rates are. Trump obviously wants interest rates to go down very quickly, but interest rates are still pretty high. And so for people who have financed new vehicles, recently, they're certainly feeling the effects of that. And so this will allow them to be able to deduct that interest up to $10,000 off of their taxes.
So I guess I'm kind of thinking about, how tax is really implemented on a car loan by itself, let alone the interest, because I guess it's something that we're just so used to being taxed so much for everything that I'm like, oh, wow, that is a separation. And so how would it apply? So when you purchase a vehicle, you're still paying everything either upfront or I guess the down payment, and then you have your payment installments. So then what happens when it comes to how you get that deduction?
Yeah, so I mean, right now, like if you make $100,000 a year, let's say, and you paid $5,000 over the course of the year in car loan interest, you would still pay taxes on that full $100,000, right? That's the amount that you earned. Now this new legislation changes that a little bit, where you'll be able to deduct some of that interest off of your ordinary income. So then you paid taxes on less money that you earned throughout the course of the year. It's of course subject to certain income limits and things like that. So I think it's $100,000 for someone as a single filer, $200,000 for someone married filing jointly before they start to reduce your ability to write off and deduct that interest that you paid. And there's also a lot of stipulations on the type of vehicle that's being purchased.
Yes. Okay. So because of course you think about some of the major luxury vehicles and wonder if it applies.
Yeah.
So what are the qualified vehicles for this?
So, I mean, a couple of the key things. One, it needs to be, a new vehicle. So it doesn't apply to new used vehicles. Has to be purchased after December 31st of 2024. So basically 2025 and later is when the vehicle needs to be purchased. The loan was originated after that. Okay. And it has to be assembled in the United States.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. So there's lots of foreign companies that still assemble their vehicles in the United States. There's a lot of domestic, producers who assemble elsewhere. So it needs to be assembled, kind of final assembly in the United States, for personal use. It can be applied to a very wide range of vehicles. I think there's a weight limit. It needs to be under like 14,000 pounds, I want to say. But yeah, those are some of kind of the key stipulations.
So wait, did you say new or used?
It's to new vehicles.
It's to new vehicles. Yep. Okay, got it. But you say personal use, so businesses cannot get this type of tax deduction.
Right. Businesses have like a separate deduction already for vehicles, so this is just kind of adding it to the personal side.
Interesting. Okay, so I'm assuming, so is this list out of these qualifiers for the vehicle?
Yeah. Yep. Okay. So yeah, all those kind of lists are out for what needs to apply in order for someone to be able to deduct this interest. I'd say with a lot of the things in the bill, this is probably one of the less significant pieces that's going to impact a lot of people. Obviously, it's only for people in a certain income threshold who bought a vehicle, a new vehicle this year and who financed it. Obviously, if you didn't finance the vehicle, if you just paid outright for it, there's no loan interest that you paid at all, so there's nothing to deduct on that.
So is this something that the car dealerships are involved in? Meaning when someone goes in to purchase a vehicle, are they educated, or should they be, to say, oh, well, you don't have to pay interest, or is it something that they do business as usual and it's up to the consumer to make sure that they get those deductions when they actually file their taxes?
Yeah. If you're a good car salesman, you're probably going to be adding that to the list of things that you'll talk about with people. And I think people can look at the VIN number on the car to actually see where it was assembled, and that's definitely going to be something where knowledgeable consumers are going to be looking at that, especially if they're financing, to see if they get to kind of reduce the cost of the loan a little bit by being able to deduct it on their taxes.
Okay, so just like on the basic level, what is the bottom line that people will see this really impacting their finances?
Yeah. So I mean, this applies to people who are both taking the standard deduction and people who are itemizing. So even if you just take the standard, you can still use this if it applies to you. Okay. It's going to be relatively, modest over the course of the year. If somebody has $1,000 a month car payment, maybe a couple $100 of that, $400 or $500 at the start of the loan is the interest, and so they'll be able to get a little deduction at the end of the year. It's not going to be groundbreaking or anything like that, but still $1 back in your pocket is better than nothing. So,
yeah. Well, good thing you let us know about it, Caleb.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
And if you would like more information about Foster Financial, we'll have their phone number listed below. They do offer complimentary consultations, so you can give them a call. And I'll see you next time after the break. This segment sponsored by Foster Financial.
Follow us on social media at Living Local 15.
Welcome to Epic Discounts by BestReviews.com. I'm Alyssa Bergamini.
And I'm Ashley Howard. Take out your phone and scan that QR code on your screen and get ready to save big.
Let's dive into today's must-haves, starting with the powerhouse performer, the Ace Magic 16-inch laptop. It is fast, stylish, and ready for anything.
With a 12th generation Intel quad-core processor and 16 gigabytes of RAM, it handles work, streaming, and multitasking like a pro, all on Windows 11.
That is right. You get Get a full HD display that looks sharp and vibrant, and all the modern ports with built-in Wi-Fi 5.
Lightweight, reliable, and designed to keep up with your day. Next, meet the Google Nest Thermostat, a smart way to stay comfortable and save money.
It is programmable, energy efficient, and super easy to control from your phone. It learns your schedule, adjusts automatically, and helps lower your energy bills. That sounds good to me. It works with most heating and cooling systems, and setup is so quick.
Sleek, simple, and smart. It even works with your voice assistant. It's a small upgrade with a big impact.
Now, skincare lovers, this one's for you. The Bliss Bright Idea Vitamin C Plus Tripeptide Serum. It is packed with 15% vitamin C and a barrier boost complex that brightens, firms, and supports collagen.
Yes, it smooths the look of fine lines, improves elasticity, and leaves your skin glowing and hydrated. Lightweight, non-greasy, and gentle enough for daily use. I mean, it's radiance in a bottle.
Yeah, I need this for sure. And last but certainly not least, the perfect creative companion, the portable sewing machine for beginners. Compact, easy to use, and packed with features like 12 built-in stitches, 2 speed settings, and it comes with 20 fabrics and 32 threads to get you started.
Great for simple repairs, DIY crafts, or learning to sew. It's fun, functional, and perfect for beginners of any age. Set it up anywhere and start stitching in minutes.
Let's get a look at all 4 amazing finds built for your lifestyle, your routine, and your creativity. Epic Discounts has you covered. And remember, these deals are only available for a limited time.
Yes, head to epicdiscounts.com or just scan the QR code on your screen and get ready to scan, shop, and save with Epic Discounts by Best Reviews.
Best Reviews is owned by our parent company, Nexstar. You can find more on the products and where to buy them on WANE.com.
Living Local 15, proudly driven by the Kelly Automotive Group. Go to the Living Local 15 page on WANE.com for recipes from the show, to watch a segment again, and to get information on products and services featured on Living Local 15. Content segments during today's Living Local 15 were paid for by these sponsors.